filmed me on.
I didn't.
Bastard.
I didn't. So, 30th of October, Thursday. 3:16 and 29 seconds.
Have I been pronounced dead?
James Mcdonald, sadly deceased.
Not so far off. Today's probably the closest I've ever come.
Yeah, right.
That's okay. Is this where I just sing the song?
Yeah, you could say
Okay,
something
so
about it.
In response to the conversation we were having earlier about connections between Yiddish folk song and the Irish tradition, there are a few songs that I'm aware of in the Irish tradition that retell the stories of the Old Testament, the Torah, and one of them is a song from the Dublin ballad tradition of the 1800s, which was written by a street singer called Michael Moran, who was blind from, I think, very early age, not from birth, and he was born in Faddle Alley in the Liberties of Dublin.
In where?
Faddle Alley. And he had a gift. He had an incredible gift despite his blindness. He, you know, like many blind people, had a very tuned musical musicality, musical ability, and was a great composer of contemporary ballads. And Michael was known for a recitation that he did, which had some connection to an archaic figure called Zosimus, and was given the nickname Zosimus, which he embraced, and is now known as Zosimus. And he wrote this song in the Dublin dialect, and using lots of Dublin idioms, and indeed setting the story in Dublin. And it's the story of the finding of Moses. And, you know, rather beautifully, he would have sang this song on the streets of Dublin, in around, you know, on the bridges and busy places in central Dublin, over 100 years ago. Well over 100 years ago. And I'll sing as much of it as I can remember. On Egypt's banks, contagious to the Nile, the old Pharaoh's daughter, she went to bathe in style. She took her dip, and she come unto the land, and to dry her royal pelt, she ran along the strand. A bulrush tripped her, whereupon she saw a smiling babby in a wad of straw. She took him up, and says she in an accent mild, "Certain ages, girls, now which is owns the child." She took him up, and she gave a little grin, for she and young Moses were standing in their skins. "Bedad now," says she, "it was someone very rude, left the little babby boy in the river in his newid." She took him to her lad, sitting on the throne. "Da," says she, "will you give the boy a home?" "Bedad now," says he, "sure I've often brought in worse. Go, me darling daughter, and fetch the child a nurse." An old blackamoor woman amongst the crew cried out, "You royal savage, what's that to do with you? Your royal ladies is too meek and mild to beget dishonestly this darling little child." So he sent a bellman to the market square to see if he could find the father and slavey there. But the only one now that he could find was the little young one who had left the child behind. She came up to Pharaoh, a stranger Maria, never letting on that she was the baby's ma. And so little Moses, he got his mammy back, It shows that coincidence is a nut to crack. That's it.